Let's go. Let's talk
What a
football.
world.
We got to go.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
And we're kind of in the vicinity of Jersey because it's a team, the North Jersey and South Jersey team did a little business, right? And I'm learning the whole North Jersey, South Jersey thing. Just for the coming Civil War, this is important to know. The Jets and Eagles did some business. Haason Reddick, and there had been some noise about he wants to be traded. I don't want to be traded. Well, I want more money, and you're not going to give it to me, so maybe somebody else will. So I guess he did want to be traded. And Haason Reddick, who has been a very underrated and very competent edge rusher, who's done the kind of like the guy we're going to talk about later, Jadeveon Clowney, kind of like team to team to team to team to team. Now he goes from the Eagles to the Jets for a third-round pick that could be a second. Third-round pick that could be a second. That means it's in 2025 because it's based on what he does in 2024. Jets take on $14.5 million of his compensation. The Eagles pay a $1 million roster bonus, and I assume the next step will be some sort of a new deal for Haason Reddick. But that was the big news on Friday or thereabouts. Haason Reddick, now a member of the New York Jets, who really now, I mean, they're doing the whole, like, older player all-in.
Yeah, they're right now.
If all those guys stay healthy, they're going to have something.
Right.
If those guys stay healthy, they're going to have something. Not that Reddick's got the injury history, but some of the other guys is like, well, if he stays healthy, you'll have something. If he doesn't, you're screwed. That was kind of like the last year. Hey, if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, you'll have something. If he doesn't, you're screwed. And he didn't, and they were screwed. This year, they got 4 or 5 guys in that category of if he stays healthy, you'll be all right. And otherwise, you're going to have some issues.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, first off, the Jets, they're in the all-in, let's win it right now mode. We know that. It's a big year for Robert Saleh, right? And then with Aaron Rodgers and where he's at in his career, we certainly don't. I know he said he wants to play 4 more years. I don't know if that's realistic. Either way, we know it's, coming down. It's coming down to the end here within the next few years. So, yeah, they're making aggressive moves now and hey, okay, we got a few young guys already, but, we don't want a full team of young guys. That's not necessarily going to, translate to winning playoff football games where, nuance, knowing how to play those game situations, veteran leadership, veteran experience does mean something there. But, I mean, damn, the Jets, the Eagles – you talk about the defensive side of the ball, it's an embarrassment of riches for both football teams. The Jets they don't sign Bryce Huff in free agency. He goes to the Eagles, signs there, and they swap out a guy that's, a little older and probably going to be a little cheaper than Bryce Huff when it's all said and done. But damn, you just talk about the talent. We know the Jets defense is talented already. It really is. It's one of the most talented defenses in football. You add Haason Reddick to the equation here, and you just go, well, damn, can they get all the good 11 guys on the field at the same time? They got 2 first-round defense ends in Philadelphia, and Jermaine Johnson and in Will McDonald, who they drafted out of Iowa State last year. So that's where, listen, you can't have enough pass rushers. We know that. Just like we saw at the end of the Super Bowl. 49ers got a great defensive line. They could have used one more pass rusher to get after Mahomes late in the football game. They're going to go with that approach and, have incredible versatility with 3 extremely freaky athletic edge guys. That's where you got to like this move for the Jets.
Reddick has played for the Cardinals. He was a first-round draft pick, 4 seasons there, 1 with the Panthers, 2 with the Eagles, and he's got 4 straight double-digit seasons. What a career. He started slowly, 2.5, 4, 1, and then boom, 12.5, 11, 16, and 11, and obviously he's the guy
found his groove.
Who hit the elbow of Brock Purdy, opening the door for the Eagles' Super Bowl appearance, because you and I both believe that if Purdy stays healthy for that game, the 49ers go to that Super Bowl and not the Philadelphia Eagles. So he's been a key player, but the Eagles, like every other team, interchangeable parts on their giant football machine, and they decide to go with the younger Bryce Huff, move on from Haason Reddick.
Right. They got Nolan Smith Reddick there. In. Right.
They let Huff go.
Yeah.
And they do have – the Eagles have – it's like they got all these guys, and they don't have as many as they did because Fletcher Cox leaves, but he hadn't been a key part of that rotation the past couple of years. He's still there. That's their goal. That's how they won the Super Bowl in 2017. And when you see a team that doesn't have Patrick Mahomes that's doing really well, or Chris Jones for that matter, you get those, we've talked about this many times, 7 or 8 guys who are rotating in, wearing down the offensive line, which doesn't rotate the same way. You get to the fourth quarter, and you got fresher guys on the defensive line. And as you've said many times, accurately, defensive linemen in today's NFL, the pass rushers, they are big, they are bad, they are fast, and the offensive linemen, generally speaking, have a hard time handling them.
Yeah, there's not enough good ones to go around. I mean, that's the big thing, right? I mean, it's where I think in this draft we're about to see in a few weeks here, I think it's got a chance to maybe break the record with offensive linemen, because it's like, well, he's big, he's athletic, yeah, he needs a little work, but there's only a few of these people on earth. We better get one right here. So there is some of that, and we know the game is won in the trenches. I mean, we know that. We look at the best teams in football year after year. One of the common things they usually have is, whoa, the D-line is real, right? Whether it's the Chiefs, what we've seen, the Eagles going to the Super Bowl, the 49ers, the Rams went into the Super Bowl that year against the Bengals, who got a pretty good pass rush too. I mean, that's part of the game. And I think, yeah, we're in an era here where, hey, it's a passing offense. Teams are hurry-up offense. If you just have 2 good defense ends, it's just not enough. It's not enough. Not enough in the era of also the scrambling quarterback, right? That's another thing when you watch a game, especially in person like the Super Bowl with Mahomes. It gets to the fourth quarter, the pass rush of the 49ers or whoever's playing Josh Allen or Mahomes or Burrow or Lamar, it doesn't have the same intensity and explosion because they've been chasing the damn guy around for the last 3 quarters. So now they're not as explosive and as fast, and the advantage goes to the quarterback that way. So I think this is where we're seeing some teams, especially the upper echelon teams, they're taking a little bit more of a, hey, I know we got 2 big-time pass rushers, but we need something else to add to this mix here. And I think that's where it's good for both teams. The Eagles are staying ahead of the curve with their young guys. The Jets are, let's do it right now. This guy's a proven commodity, and let's make it happen. And, it should be fun to see. They're going to be some hell of a defense, that's for sure.
Reddick is 29 years old.
Yeah.
And the thing that, and I don't mean this to be about him per se.
Right.
It's just odd to me that the Eagles get this guy who has 27 total sacks in 2 years, Pro Bowler each year, has that key play in that key moment, which you would think would engender some sort of positivity between organization and team. And it might just be as simple as he valued himself at a certain level and they didn't. And instead of forcing him to stick around for the last year of his contract and possibly have it turn, Howie Roseman is the common thread back to the TO year when he didn't want to be there. And maybe when they have situations like that, they just nip it in the bud and move on. And hey, we're going to do this guy a favor. He wants more than what we want to pay him. And instead of having an ugly situation, we're just going to come up with a different approach altogether. It's unfortunate that it felt like he found a home in Philadelphia.
Yeah, right.
After doing the Cardinals and the Panthers, it felt like he could be long-term in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just be part of that,
right,
that team for the rest of his career. There was a disconnect somewhere, and it might be as simple as money. Nothing more complicated than that.
Yeah.
But you would think they'd try to find a way to get through to him and be willing to value him properly, because I don't know who's at fault here. The problem was they just didn't have the same vision of what this guy's worth. But he's clearly worth plenty in today's NFL.
No,
you got 27 sacks in 2 years. You're doing something right.
That's right. He's a player. I mean, he really is. That's where, the Jets, I'm sitting here going, wait, how are they going to play this? Who's going to be the starting 11, right? Are they going to play Haason Reddick at stand-up linebacker and let Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald be the defensive linemen, the defense ends? Are they going to play, right? We've seen like the Legion of Boom when Robert Saleh was in Seattle. They were so talented, Mike, that, they would have their 4D linemen in, Cliff Averill and Chris Clemens as the DN, and then they'd have Bruce Irvin, KJ Wright, and Bobby Wagner as a linebacker, and they would go, oh, you're playing 3 receivers? They would go, we don't give a crap. we're going to play this group right here. We're still athletic as hell with the 3 backers on the field, and they're length, and we know, hey, it's the Seattle scheme, right? They don't play a lot of man-to-man anyways. It's zone. So as long as you know your rules, length and athleticism, wow, it's still a pain in the butt. I'm going to be interested to see their approach there. I mean, it's that's different from the NFL and what we see right now. So that's kind of cool. But your Eagles thing, Mike, I do think is interesting. I think they're a little bit in like Howie, like he told us at the Combine. He's trying to stay a step ahead always. He didn't want to tell us the formula, but it's always about staying a step ahead. What's the new angle? And I think right now he's in the angle of, hey, I'm getting my young front guys that I've invested in a year or two ago in the draft, and we got to play them sometime. It's time to do it. You know, Nolan Smith, the kid from Georgia, remember last year, he kind of fell into their lap at the last pick of the draft. I think that affected the Haason Reddick thing, let alone Reddick's age. And then, hey, we got an embarrassment of young guys here. You know, we got Josh Sweat, who they paid some good money, right? They got Nolan Smith. They got Bryce Huff. They got Jalen Carter. They got Jordan Davis. They want to get that new group in there. And then I would think that, like what you said, Mike, Haason Reddick, age, and then he wants a new contract. And for the stats and the way he's played last year, he's being paid way below market value for what his production has been, you know, as far as a pass rusher in today's status or current status right now.
Josh Sweat's name came up middle of March as a possible trade option as well. They've restructured his contract. They're keeping him around. You know, with the Jets, though, this is a move that you make if you're already a contender and you're looking for a piece that takes you next level.
Yeah,
it just felt weird for the Jets to do it because it's almost like they're presuming they're a contender even though they were horrible last year because they didn't have Aaron Rodgers. They're telling themselves and maybe trying to convince everyone else that they really are in position, that this is a sensible move for them because Aaron Rodgers will be healthy this year. And I know that one of the things that we do every year in the offseason, we just assume everybody's going to be healthy because it's stupid to try to predict who's going to be injured, even though we know people will be injured and it will change the course of entire seasons like it did for the Jets last year.
Yeah.
But this is kind of a bold, all-in move. You know, we keep making fun of the Cowboys and specifically owner Jerry Jones for saying that the Cowboys are all in and then doing absolutely nothing that would conceivably be characterized as all in. The Jets are far more all in than the Cowboys. The Jets are making the kind of moves that you make when you have a team that you feel really good about and you're addressing your needs with veteran players that you're getting at a reasonable price, but you're bringing in the Tyron Smiths, the Mike Williams, the Haason Reddicks. Now, again, Reddick's probably going to want a new deal, but still, they're going for these veterans to plug these spots and elevate a team that isn't where you would think a team that would be making moves like that ordinarily would be.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you.
If that makes any sense at all.
I know.
They're presuming that they're at a level that they have yet to achieve.
No, you're right. And they're forward looking, right? But I think we can all agree that, like, you know, I know it's, hey, ifs and whats and candies and butts and all that kind of stuff, right? But I think we can all agree.
Sounds like the ingredients of Taylor ham.
Exactly. It's a lot of that. They put it in that machine you talked about, then you eat it, right? But I lost my train of thought. Okay, here we go. But I think we can all agree.
Forward thinking.
Yes, forward thinking. You know, yeah, they haven't done it, but like we saw last year, we went, wow, there's a lot of talent on the roster. And it's certainly fair to make that assessment again. I don't think we're, you know, going too much out on a limb there. Now, they got to go out and do it. They got to stay healthy. We got that. We got it. But you look at the Jets on paper and you go, those names we just mentioned with Quincy Williams and C.J. Mosley, right? One of the better linebacker duos in football. With Quinnen Williams on the inside, arguably the best defensive tackle in football, and Sauce Gardner on the outside, and DJ Reed, the other corner, who's damn good. You start to go, the Jets, on paper, have one of the most physically talented football teams in the league. Their front seven is definitely in the conversation for one of the most talented front sevens in the game. It was already before they made the Haason Reddick trade. And then you add in, I think, what all the things we're talking about. Can Elijah Vera Tucker stay healthy? Can Tyron Smith stay healthy at left tackle, right? Can Mike Williams get healthy at receiver to be able to be a key contributor, by week 5 or 6? If those things line up the right way, and now you got 3 guys on the edge who could chase Josh Allen twice a year and get him down and do all that, yeah, they got a chance. And I think they're playing it like they got a chance this year, and I don't blame them for doing that.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.